When I was 20 years old, I drove across the country from my small hometown and moved to Los Angeles, and I feel like it's made me grow up really fast. So here's 3 important lessons I've learned that have turned me into a better person and more confident. And man, has it been a crazy 2 years. The world is a lot harder than it seems. However, if you're consistent, it's a lot easier. And you have to be disciplined even when you don't want to do things, because discipline leads to habits, habits leads to consistency, and consistency leads to growth. So you have to be disciplined. You can't just wish for things to happen. The second one is you can't be afraid to upset people. What I mean is, like, don't be afraid to take up space. I'm such a people pleaser, which I'm working on, but you have to learn to say no to people, and you have to not be afraid to take up space. For example, let's say you're trying to go through a door at someone else. Like, if it's just you and one person, you say, oh, you go first, which is nice. However, what if there's 50 other people on the other side of the door? When's it going to be your turn to get in the door? You have to say, no, I'll go first, and hold the door for them or something like that. And it gets easier the more time you spend with yourself and the more you figure out who you are. But you have to know what you want and where you're going, and it makes it a lot easier to know to put yourself in situations and not be afraid to take up space. Because if you're afraid to take up space, then you're going to be secluded your whole life and you're not going to get anywhere. The last one is that your network is your net worth. I used to go on job postings all the time and apply online, but the thing is, no one can see who's behind that screen. So the more you put yourself out there, this doesn't go for jobs, it can go for relationships, any opportunity you want in life. You have to make connections, you have to make friends. The more connections you make with people, the more they're willing to trust you, and the more opportunities you'll land rather than just applying as a blank slate. And honestly, I used to hate networking even when I lived in Alabama. But when you go into the mindset of meeting new people, it completely flips it. This year, I probably improved the most. I've made so many friends. Sometimes I'll follow people and I don't remember who they are because I just meet so many people. However, the more you put yourself out in the world, the more opportunities that will come to you. Just be your authentic self and don't go in a mindset of what can I get from this person. And LA is very common, like relationships can feel transactional. However, I'm still committed to being my authentic self, and I believe in good in everybody, so I'm gonna keep doing that. But yeah, I would not be where I am today if I was not putting myself out in the world.